Welcome dear students. Today we are going to begin with a new chapter, okay? That is Sultans of Delhi. Sultans of Delhi, okay? And topic we'll be seeing today is introduction portion, introduction part. The dynasty that ruled Delhi, sources and slave dynasty. Sources is all about how do we come to know that Delhi was ruled by different dynasties, okay? Introduction. Delhi has been the capital city for several years, for several kingdoms, okay? For many years, several kingdoms used Delhi as a capital city. Second point says it is centrally located on the banks of river Yamuna. All of us know that. It was also an important center, a trade center for all the rulers. Whoever invaded India, they came to Delhi. Whoever became the ruler of India, they stayed in Delhi and started ruling also, and that is how the trade center began. Next sentence is the many rulers have had the ambition to control the Indian subcontinent from here. They started controlling subcontinents from Delhi, and also this was the target of many invaders. Invaders means people or kings or rulers, those who came to India. Their target was to conquer Delhi. So in this chapter we will be seeing the various rulers of Delhi Sultanate. Here we are the dynasty that ruled Delhi from 1206 to 1526 CE, and this period is called also the Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so these are the 5 dynasties we will be studying in this chapter. In this chapter we will be studying this Slave dynasty, Khalji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. Okay. So we will see the sources of Delhi Sultanate. First one is inscription, dear students. Inscription means depicted, inscripted, where in the coin, on the coin, historical monuments, milestones and tombstones. Basically these are the sources where you get Delhi was ruled by different sultans. Okay, so some of the monuments also you can see Qutub Minar is still there. Some of the mosques, so you can see they are praying. Churches or temples are there. Okay, cultural monuments are there. So from this we get that Delhi was ruled by different sultans. So dear students, we are going to see today slave dynasty, and slave dynasty was ruled by these 4 rulers. Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Raja Sultan and Ghiyasuddin Balwan. Okay, so let us see how these rulers were efficient or not efficient in slave dynasty. Let us watch this video and try to understand the whole part of this chapter.
The Mamluk or Slave Dynasty, 1206 to 1290. Mamluk, literally meaning owned, was a soldier of slave origin who had converted to Islam. The phenomenon started in 9th century and gradually the Mamluks became a powerful military caste in various Muslim societies. In 1206, when Muhammad Ghori died, he had no child. So, after his death, his sultanate was divided into many parts by his slaves or Mamluk generals. One such slave dynasty was founded in northern India by Qutbuddin Aibak, a Turkic general from Central Asia. Qutbuddin Aibak became the Sultan of Delhi, and that was the beginning of the slave dynasty. It was the first of 5 unrelated dynasties to rule India's Delhi Sultanate from 1206 to 1290. Qutbuddin Aibak, 1206 to 1210. He was successful in temporarily quelling the rebellions of Nasiruddin Quabcha of Multan and Tajuddin Yildiz of Ghazni. He made Lahore his capital and consolidated his control over North India through administrative hold over Delhi. He ruled for 4 years until he had a fatal accident while playing Chogan, polo. In his brief rule, he built the Quwat-ul-Islam mosque in Delhi and the Adhay-Din Ka Jhopda Mosque in Ajmer. He started the construction of Qutub Minar in Delhi, which is dedicated to a famous Sufi saint of that time, Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. After he died, the minar was completed by his successor Iltutmish. He is also remembered as Lakh Baksh or giver of lakhs because of his generosity. Shams-ud-Din Iltutmish, 1211 to 1236. He was the third ruler of the Mamluk dynasty of Delhi. He was a slave of Qutbuddin Aibak and later became his son-in-law and close lieutenant. He was the governor of Badaun when he deposed Qutbuddin's successor, Aram Shah, and acceded to the throne of the Delhi Sultanate in 1211. Some of the important tasks completed by Iltutmish during his reign were: he shifted capital from Lahore to Delhi, remained the ruler until his death on 1st of May 1236. He suppressed all internal revolts and also checked external invaders successfully. He warded off the Mongol threat by refusing asylum to King Jalaluddin Mangabarni in 1221. He consolidated his power by capturing southern Bihar in 1225 to 1226 after death of Genghis Khan in 1227. Sindh and Multan were incorporated into the Delhi Sultanate and placed under separate governors. Starting in 1226, Iltutmish began a series of campaigns against the Rajputs. Ranthambore was taken in 1226, Mandsaur in 1227. Bayana, Ajmer and Sambhar were also captured. Nagaur was captured in 1230 and Gwalior in 1231. He introduced the silver tanka and the copper jital, the two basic coins of the Sultanate period, with a standard weight of 175 grains. He introduced Iqtadari system, division of empire into Iqtas, which were assigned to the nobles and officers in lieu of salary. He built the Hauz-e-Shamsi reservoir in Mehroli in 1230, which also has Jahaz Mahal standing on its edge, used by later Mughal emperors. In 1231, he built Sultan Ghari, the mausoleum of his eldest son, Prince Naziruddin Mahmud, which was the first Islamic mausoleum in Delhi. He got completed the construction of Qutub Minar. His own tomb exists within the Qutub complex in Mehroli, Delhi. Razia Sultan, 1205, October 13, 1240. Also known as Razia al-Din, was the Sultan of Delhi from 1236 to May 1240. Razia Sultan was the only woman ruler of both the Sultanate and the Mughal period. Iltutmish designated his daughter Razia as her heir apparent. With reluctance, the nobility agreed to allow Razia to reign as Sultan of Delhi. She dressed like a man and sat in open darbar. As Sultan, Razia preferred a man's tunic and headdress, and contrary to custom, she would later show her face when she rode an elephant into the battle as the head of her army. She was an efficient ruler and possessed all the qualities of a monarch. A shrewd politician, Razia managed to keep the nobles in check while enlisting the support of the army and the populace. Her greatest accomplishment on the political front was to manipulate rebel factions into opposing each other. Razia established schools, academies, centers for research and public libraries that included the works of ancient philosophers along with the Quran and the traditions of Muhammad. Having been defeated in a battle of succession, Razia was killed on October 13, 1240 at Kaithal in modern-day Haryana. Fact: Razia refused to be addressed as Sultana because it meant wife or mistress of a sultan. She would answer only to the title of Sultan.
And the fourth ruler of slave dynasty is Ghiyasuddin Balwan. Okay, fourth ruler is Ghiyasuddin Balwan. He was a great ruler of slave dynasty, my dear students. We have already seen the three rulers. Now the fourth one is Ghiyasuddin Balwan, a great ruler. Also it is said he followed the policy of blood and iron. Blood and iron. It means he was very strict disciplined man, and he used to follow the military rule. Okay. So he became powerful by taking some measures. Let us see some of the measures he took by behind. That is how he became powerful. First one, he says he kept efficient spy system to keep a watch on the activities of nobles, governors and other officials. Some secret agents who followed up the work of the kingdoms. Okay, followed up the work of the kingdom, and they checked how the work was done. Okay. Second one, he put forward divine rights. Divine rights means appointed by God, and himself declared as a representative of God to the people. Okay. Next point says he introduced practice of sajdi system. That is all about people have to bend down and touch the ground and show reverence to the king, the sultan, and that is how we do in the church, as we do in the church and temples and mosques. By doing that, we show honor and reverence to the God. Same way, people also have to do the same to the sultan. Okay. Next one says he maintained strict discipline in the court. In his court there was strict discipline, and also he used to keep the distance from the courtiers and nobles. Okay. So that is to manage the kingdom with a disciplinary system. He single-handedly managed the administration and appointments as per his choosing. All the appointments are done by himself. Any administration management also is done by the sultan himself. And the last point says he crushed the revolts by Mewati Rajputs. He took the help of the Mewati Rajputs and crushed all the wars, all the rebellions. He crushed them. Okay. So that is what this chapter talks about. This